Hey, what's up, citizens? This is President Vochelli with a commentary on the new details that have been released about the next Legend of Zelda game. So, as you see behind me, Miyamoto and Aonuma, the producers of the Legend of Zelda series, are playing through a little sample of the next Legend of Zelda game for the Wii U. And this game is going to be an open world game, like Skyrim. You're going to be able to explore this big world, find places to go to. The game doesn't tell you where to go. Well, it may or may not do that. But regardless if it does, you're still going to be able to find these other areas to explore. And that's going to promote your sense of adventure. Like the original Legend of Zelda, where you were just cast into this world and you had to explore it on your own in order to find out its secrets, in order to power yourself up to get through the dungeons, which you also had to find on your own. The game rarely told you where exactly to go. It gave you hints, but you still had to do it on your own. And what that does is it rewards your curiosity, your sense of adventure. Whereas the more modern Legend of Zelda games, they don't really do that. They set this story for you and tell you where to go. You go to this dungeon, then to this area to find another dungeon, get these items, blah blah blah, go through this story. Exploring the world that's given to you and these other Zelda games, it's not gonna give you much except like heart containers or something. You're not gonna find these sub stories or these powerful weapons because those are all in the dungeons. And I mean, those kind of games, they work. It feels like you are on this quest, this epic quest, but it doesn't reward you for exploring the world. Which I definitely think The Legend of Zelda should get back to that. Because that's what the original game was all about. The adventure, the sense of discovery, excitement over new things. You're not just experiencing the story, which, well, let's be honest, the story's not much. But what I'm hoping to see in these new games is, not only being able to discover new places at your own will, but also having these like sub-stories around the main one. Like, let's say you go to a town and you hear about this dungeon where a man who, a great hero who had the strength of 100 men was buried. What if also this main dungeon you're supposed to get to is blocked by this giant boulder? Well, then you're able to draw the connection. Oh, hey, I heard about this place where, a very strong man was buried. What if I go check that out? Maybe I can find a way to get into this other dungeon. Like, that rewards you for paying attention and exploring the world. Listening out and finding new details. And I'm just hoping the game kind of does that. And not only hearing things from people, but also maybe getting clues from old stories and myths. Now, what I mean by old stories and myths is like, people passing tales from one to another about these extraordinary places, these extraordinary things that happened in the past, that they're linked to a place, to a place on this big open world. You can then explore it and get even more of the history around that place. Maybe find items of great significance and just experience these other smaller stories. And what I think is that The Legend of Zelda is really about, some grand mythology. You're playing as a legendary hero who has descended from, other legendary heroes who did these epic feats. The story is the same. The legendary hero, defeats Ganondorf with the help of Princess Zelda. But what if these myths expanded to other other domains. Telling about other heroes, other monsters, items of great power. Because I think that just fits really well with the Legend of Zelda game. Legend of Zelda games. Like, for instance, let's take the black sheep of the Legend of Zelda series, Majora's Mask. That wasn't about replaying, the epic tale of Link versus Ganondorf with help of Zelda. Instead you're cast into Termina, which had its own history and mythology around it. The mythology of the four great giants who prevented calamity from befalling Termina, and also had histories of Majora's Mask and the Great Deity. That's cool. It's great to be able to experience those other kinds of stories. Instead of just the same one over and over again. And not only that, if The Legend of Zelda changes to have many stories like this, you're just going to be able to steep yourself in ancient history and the myth of the land. Not only will you be finding new items, you'll be discovering the history and culture of Hyrule. And I think that would just be amazing. It'd be great from a storytelling perspective. It would help. From a gameplay perspective too, because you get hints of these other things that have happened, and then you explore it on your own. You don't have to, but you can. And overall, I just hope that's what The Legend of Zelda returns to. It's just exploring Hyrule, finding things for yourself. Things that may be of great importance in your quest or may not. I just want the adventure to return to Legend of Zelda. Modern Legend of Zeldas, they're good. They're good on their own merits. But I'm thinking getting back to the roots, changing up the formula, I think will be best here. But let's see, and one final note about that. That perspective is also shared by Ego Raptor. You've most likely heard of him. If you haven't, I'll put a link to his video about the Legend of Zelda series below, where he pretty much talks about wanting adventure to return to Zelda as well. So hey, thank you very much for listening to my opinion about this. If you like the video, logical thing to do is to press that like button. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Facebook and Twitter, links to which will also be in the description below, to stay updated on my videos. And finally, share this video with others. Share my perspective with others, see if they agree or disagree with it. And hey, if you have your own opinion about this, hey, make sure to leave it in the comments below. Alright, hey, thank you again very much for watching, and this has been President Vochelli, signing off.